The battle of the afternoon is about to unfold. The Monmouth Zippers, 30-2 on the season, coached by Mike Mueller, pitted against the Havana Ducks, coached by the veteran Bob Grigorich. They're 28-2. Grigorich in his 11th year with 208 wins and 66 losses. Monmouth, Mike Mueller in his 4th year, 83 wins and 25 losses. Now let's take a look at the lineups of these two ball clubs from Assembly Hall announcer Tom Trent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the people involved in our second semifinal game of the afternoon. First, for the Zippers of Monmouth High School, with a record of 30 wins, only 2 losses, the head coach of the Zippers, Mike Mueller. Number 12, Jeff Johnson. Number 22, Jeff Romano. Number 30, John Kinney. Number 32, Mark Lovedahl. Number 34, Jamie Paul. Number 40, Mike Murphy. Number 42, Tony DeFord. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the Zippers of Monmouth. At forward, a senior, 6'1", number 24, Mark McCurdy.
McCurdy averaging 5.9 points on the season.
At forward, a senior, 6 feet 5 inches tall, number 44, Mike Miller.
Mike Miller, an all-stater, almost a 19-point per game average.
Starting at center for the Zippers, a senior, 6'4", number 50, Jerome Burdett.
Burdett, a fine athlete, averaging 14 each time out.
At a guard position, a senior, 6 feet tall, number 10, Fred Hayes.
Fred Hayes had a big night last night.
And at guard for Monmouth, a senior, 6'1", number 14, Mel Blasey.
Mel Blasey averaging 16 points per contest. The cheerleaders from Monmouth.
And now let's meet the Ducks from Havana High School with a record of 28 victories, only 2 losses. The head coach of the Ducks, Bob Grigorich.
Note the red carpet they roll out for the Havana Ball Club from their bench.
Number 10, Jeff Lawrence. Number 24, Rod Jump. Number 30, Rick Huffman. Number 32, Brad Burrows. Number 34, Dan Ostrander. Number 42, Troy Trimpe. Number 54, Dave King.
Dave King is a 6'10".
Now let's meet the starting lineup for the Havana Ducks. At forward, a senior, 6 feet 5 inches tall, number 52, Bruce Sard.
All this guy did was score 31 points last night.
At forward, a junior, 6'2", number 44, Chip Boggs.
9.5 point per game scorer.
Starting at center for the Ducks, a junior, 6 feet 6, number 50, Kevin King.
Fine all-around player, Kevin King.
At a guard, a sophomore, 6'4", number 40, Trevor Trimpe.
Set a new Class A single-game record with 15 assists last night.
And at guard for Havana, a senior, 6 feet tall, number 20, Jay Ginzel.
Jay Ginzel averaging 6.4 each time out. Our officials, we'll look at them here very shortly.
Game, Donald Reinecker of Sparta.
Don Reinecker from Sparta and Thomas Newton from Hearst. One of your network sponsors is Stauffer Chemical Company.
You can grow corn where it was almost impossible before. With Eradicane herbicide, it controls Johnson grass, wild cane, nutsedge, giant foxtail, and many more. Because Eradicane has the extra strength to control the toughest weeds in corn. Where tough weeds have kept you from growing corn the way you want to grow corn, use Eradicane and grow corn where it was almost impossible before. Eradicane for the toughest weeds in corn.
I would like to tell you about the new tax laws. They allow every taxpayer to start an IRA at Union Federal and deduct up to $2,000 a year. Now, let's say you're 35 and you save $2,000 a year at 12% in a Union Federal IRA. By the time you're 65, you've saved $60,000. But your IRA is worth over $600,000. Now, that's a tax break and reason enough to visit any Union Federal office.
And there you see the locations of Havana and Monmouth here in the state of Illinois as they battled in the lower bracket semifinal. The winner to meet Lawrenceville tonight for the state Class A championship. The loser goes into the consolation game at 6:15 this evening. Actually at 6:30, they'll tip it off. We'll be on the air at 6:15. All right, we're set to go. King steps in to jump for Havana against Burden. Ball is controlled by the Ducks and Jay Ginsel with it out front. Immediately a man-to-man defense being employed by Monmouth as Hayes moves out on Ginsel. Now it's Bruce Sarnes. Sarnes to Trimpey. Turnaround jumper in the middle is good by Chip Boggs. Chip Boggs got the ball inside for Havana, hit the turnaround jump shot to make it a 2-0 ball game as Monmouth brings it across the time stripe.
They're facing that 1-3-1 Havana zone.
Mel Blasey with the basketball. Now they work out front to Mike Miller. A penetration move. Hayes goes down on the floor underneath. We're going to have a jump ball situation. Miller did not have the big explosive night last night that he has had many times for this Monmouth ball club, and he may well have a big one today, although he had a good ball game. He had a 13-point effort, but Miller is averaging about 19 points a game. There's the jump ball. Sarnes jumping for Havana. Ball was loose on the floor, and Jay Ginsel comes up with the basketball. Here's Ginsel across the time stripe for the Ducks. Works off to Sarnes. Sarnes holds it high. To Ginsel. Hayes is still on him as Monmouth opening man-to-man. You surprised at that at all, Keith?
No, I think that's what got them here. A very aggressive man-to-man.
King banks it off the glass and inadvertent. Picks up the personal foul. Kevin King on the inside.
Okay, you'll see the nice feed inside to Kevin King. Kevin King goes up strong. The foul is on Burdett, and King will attempt to complete the three-point play.
All right, Kevin King at the line. 6'6", 175 a junior. 11.1 scoring average coming into the state finals. Free throw, got it.
They are going to be hard to hold man-to-man because they are so well balanced.
Havana jumps on top 5-0. Monmouth comes over the timeline. Mel Blasey, 6'1", a 165-pound senior. Works off left side of the floor to Mark McCurdy. They work inside to Burdett. Burdett loses the handle. It was stolen by King. First turnover for Monmouth. Ginsel comes up quickly to Trimpey. Trevor Trimpey. Inside, they go to Boggs, the ball deflected at the baseline. Ginsel makes the save, almost steps out of bounds. Walked the tightrope, saved the ball in the corner. Back into Chip Boggs, but stolen away. Taken away by Monmouth, Mark McCurdy. McCurdy works to Blasey. Mike Mueller wants his ball club to settle down a little bit. They trail at 5-0. With it is Blasey. And still the zone defense for Havana. Miller, push to the basket, shoots and rolls it home. Mike Miller with the first field goal for Monmouth. It's a 5-2 contest.
Here's that Monmouth press.
Right, they're picking him up. Sarnes came down to help out. Ginsel over the time stripe. On Ginsel defensively is Fred Hayes. Right side to Sarnes. Sarnes drifts to the basket. Short jumper. Rolls off. We got a foul. Maybe on Sarnes. It is. Bruce Sarnes called for the charge as he leaned in, tried the bank shot, and the basketball goes back to Monmouth. Havana leads at 5-2, just underway in the Assembly Hall after a spine tingler to end all spine tinglers. 47-45, Lawrence over Herscher in OT. Across with the basketball. Monmouth. Hayes now out on the point. Blazel in the corner to Miller. Long jumper is good. So Mike Miller has hit his first two off the Mel Blasey assist to make the score now 5-4. Havana lead, which was 5-zip, now narrowed to a single digit. Defensive zone. Ginsel with the basketball. Driving it up against Hayes. Hayes digging in defensively. Ginsel going left side to Sarnes for the baseline jump shot. Not there. Rebound, Chip Boggs. Boggs turns. He can't get it home. And Hayes skies for the board. Fred Hayes at 6 even. Pulls it down. Off to Miller for the solo drive. Got it and was fouled. Chip Boggs fouled him. So Mike Miller with the first 3 buckets for Monmouth. Monmouth takes the lead.
Okay, here's Fred Hayes coming down. and he hits Miller going underneath for the layup. Excellent feed.
Timeout. One of your network sponsors is DeKalb Ag Research.
$134 more pitchers, 268 more quart jars, 1,430 more coffee cups. No matter how you measure, DeKalb XL67 yields more corn per acre. If you think that's something, plant XL67 and see how many more bushels you'll harvest.
I'm Senator Don Totten. I led President Reagan's 2 campaigns here in Illinois, and I am devoted to his philosophy of government. Now I'm running for Lieutenant Governor to help implement President Reagan's new federalism here in Illinois. I know him. I understand his philosophy, and I can make his program work here in Illinois.
As Lieutenant Governor, Don Totten will serve as a strong link between Governor Thompson and President Reagan. Don Totten for Lieutenant Governor. Republican primary March 16th.
Well, Havana jumped to a 5-0 lead in the ball game, and Monmouth has now scored 6 successive unanswered points, and at the line is going to be Mike Miller. Miller has scored all 6 of those points. Monmouth leads it by 1 at 6-5. Miller at the line. Got it. 7-5 contest. Monmouth from a 5-0 deficit, now leading the ball game by 2 with 5:23 to go in the first quarter. Zippers still in that full court pressure.
Havana beats the press by giving it to Gensel to bring it up 1-on-1.
Changes hands and direction with the dribble as he comes across the 10-second line to Trevor Trimpe. To Sarnes, 4-2. Bruce Sarnes with his first 2-pointer of the afternoon. We're tied at 7. Monmouth on the attack. Mel Blasey, B-L-A-S-I, the spelling. 16-point-per-game scoring average. Right side to Mike Miller. Miller's off to a roaring start. Here's Hayes on the perimeter. Got it. Freddie Hayes, averaging 13.8, makes it a 9-7 ball game. The second-ranked Monmouth Zippers leading by 2. Hayes crowding Gensel. Gensel drives it across the stripe to Trimpe. Trimpe at long range. Outer iron, no good. Rebound, Chip Boggs makes the save. Back to Trimpe. To Jay Gensel. Gensel out between the circles as Hayes moves to it. Here's Sarnes. Sarnes with the jump shot. Another one. So Bruce Sarnes, Keith is starting to light it up a little bit. 2 in a row.
He's taking right over where he left off last night, Art.
Game is tied at 9. Art Kimball, Keith Baldwin, and Frank Massoni with you from the Assembly Hall this afternoon. Semifinal round of the state Class A tournament. Hayes at long range for Monmouth. Can't get it down. Trimpe with the rebound. Now remember, Trevor Trimpe plays a guard, but he's 6'4". Pretty good rebounder. Had 15 assists last night. A Class A state tournament, a single game mark. Pass inside, intended for King. Little bit errant. Stolen by Hayes. Hayes solos. Gets the pass off. Traveling violation is going to nullify it. They got the pass to Blasey. Second turnover. A tag to Monmouth in the ball game, and thus far Havana has 3. So the turnover is just about even. The game is dead even. 9 apiece. 3:56 for the opening quarter. And this one settling into something similar to the battle we had in the first game this afternoon. Gensel with Hayes digging in defensively. Jay Gensel across. A lot of jamming under the basket on the left side of the lane. Gensel goes right. Bounce pass inside to King. King puts a move on. Shoots. Can't get it home. Good defensive effort there by Mark McCurdy of Monmouth. McCurdy to Blasey. Blasey on the outlet. He's going to go the distance. The whistle got the basket. Let's see if it's going to count. Blasey scored. The foul has been called on Chip Boggs of Havana.
On the replay, we see Mel Blasey coming down, driving sideline, going to the baseline, goes up. Basket is good, and it counts.
Blasey gets the bucket. Boggs picks up his first personal foul, and it's a 3-point possibility. At the free throw line, Mel Blasey. Monmouth leads it by 2, 11-9. Free throw good. Blasey, and that's the charity toss for Mike Mueller's ball club. 12-9. Mike, a young coach who says he is just delighted to be here, the biggest thrill of his life. And he's got a fine ball club at Monmouth, I'll tell you that, no question about it. Holding high is Trevor Trimpe, baseline left. Burditt digging in defensively against King, giving away an inch in height. Looks like King might be a little bit more than an inch taller than Burditt, however. Sarnes got it. Bruce Sarnes with a magnificent touch. I see he was an IBCA honorable mention All-Stater. Hard for me to believe there are 10 or 15 players better than Mr. Sarnes on the Class A level.
I'm sure some of them would like to revote.
Blasey at long range. Rebound, Sarnes. Sarge to Ginsel. We have that All-State team here somewhere, Keith. Maybe before the session's over, we can dig it out and run down at least the first couple of squads. Sarge holds. Trimpe inside. Shot by King, no good. Boggs tries to rebound. Boggs just a very hard-working, kind of a journeyman ball player out there. This gets the job done for you. Very, very reliable. Monmouth with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Here's Hayes at about 14, rolls it home. Fred Hayes got the ball on the outer rim, took legs and rolled home for him. 14-11, Monmouth by 3. Jay Ginsel across. Ginsel with Hayes digging in defensively. Sarnes on the right wing, stolen away by Mike Miller. Here's Miller thundering down for the layup. He's got it, and he was fouled by Ginsel. Boy, another three-point opportunity coming up for Monmouth. Going to see that again.
You see the steal by Mike Miller, taking the ball all the way to the hoop. Very poor choice of a foul for Jay Ginsel. Either get him earlier or leave him alone.
Right, he had the sure layup. Well, we're seeing Mike Miller come alive in this ball game, aren't we, Keith?
We certainly are, and I'll tell you another player to watch, I think, is Fred Hayes. You know, Fred Hayes is having to work awfully hard on defense, taking Ginsel one-on-one, and yet he is in charge of running the offense and the fast break.
Miller's free throw completes the three-point play, makes it 17-11 Monmouth. Ball is deflected out of bounds, they say, by Havana's Sarnes, and the basketball goes right back to the Zippers. Monmouth trail 5-0. They now have a 6-point lead at 17-11. Mike Miller into Hayes. Hayes to Blasey. Back to Miller at long range. He got it. Mike Miller pours it in to make it 19-11. Havana trailing by 8. Biggest lead of the ball game for Monmouth. Jay Ginsel. Ducks need a basket here. Trevor Trimpe holding. And of course, Monmouth wants to deny him that one. Continue their momentum. Inside. We're going to jump ball situation. Just a moment ago, Rick Huffman entered the lineup for Havana. And Huffman was tied up. He's 6'2", 155 a junior, averaging 4.9. He will jump against Mark McCurdy at the attacking free throw line of Havana. Controlled by Trevor Trimpe for the Ducks. Havana in their home white trimmed in maroon. Traveling maroon, gold, and white uniforms. Predominantly maroon for Monmouth. The hook by King is good. Sweeping right hand hook out at Kevin King.
He showed us that hook shot last night, too. He looks very comfortable with it.
19-13. The Zippers by 6. Across Blasey. They work low to Miller. Miller working on King. Twist in, shoots and scores. No bucket. No basket. Offensive foul on Mike Miller. Miller muscle to the inside. Miller already has a total of 12 points.
Yeah, I think you'll see Mike Miller with the hook as he hooks that arm around, goes up with the body strong, but we are seeing the real Mike Miller today, I think.
Yeah. He cleared a space for himself, no question about it. Inbounds pass intercepted. Lacey shoots and misses it. Actually, it was picked up loose off the floor. It became an inbound pass that was errant by Havana. Did not hurt the Ducks, however. They have the basketball back, down 6 with 1:05 to go in the quarter. Sarnes. Sarnes works to Trevor Trimpe. Monmouth still playing that man-to-man. They're playing it tough, friends, believe me. King to Sarnes at the line. His jumper got it. 8 points for Bruce Sarnes. 19-15. 4-point lead for Monmouth. Havana clawing their way back in this one. They were down 8 just a moment ago. Across is Mel Blasey. Blasey working out front with Fred Hayes. Off to Mark McCurdy. McCurdy wearing number 24. There's number 44. Mike Miller coming out to get the pass. Now Hayes with the basketball. Havana in that zone defense. Calling that a 1-3-1, Keith.
1-3-1 zone by Havana. They played that almost all night last night.
They're pretty active out of it. Looks like Monmouth definitely going to run it down for a shot at the end of the quarter with 16 seconds to go in the period. 19-15. Monmouth leading by 4. Hayes to Miller to Blasey. Blasey to the baseline, diverted inside. Shot is blocked by King, deflected out of bounds. Good defensive job by Kevin King underneath.
You know, Jerome Burdett had a big game inside last night, but he's been rather quiet so far today.
Jamie Paul checks in for Monmouth, replacing Mike Miller. Miller's been playing very, very hard. I'm sure that Mike Mueller, the coach, just wants to give Mike Miller a little breather. Into Hayes, only 5 seconds to go, and he walked with it. Little pump fake by Fred Hayes. He started up. Unfortunately for him, so did his feet. Called for the traveling violation. The basketball goes back to Havana. Down 4 with 4 seconds to go in the quarter. Trimpe to Sarnes, loose at the timeline. And with 1 second to go in the quarter, it'll go right back to Monmouth. Lawrenceville's Indians trying to become the first Class A team to win the state title undefeated. the Class A state crowd. Escaped by 2 in overtime. Lacey from behind the 10-second line falls short, and that's it. At the end of 1 period in the Assembly Hall, it's Monmouth 19, Havana 15. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
Country Companies believes if you drive defensively, you shouldn't have to pay the same rates as people who don't. So, if you are a safe driver and haven't had an accident or moving violation in the last 3 years, Country Companies will give you a 15% discount.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of the boys basketball tournament in Illinois. The IHSA and Jim Flynn has printed up a special anniversary program, which you can order for $3. IHSA, Box 2715, Bloomington 61701.
Okay, Frank, thank you. We're set to go with the second period of this one. 19-15, Monmouth by 4 over Havana after a quarter. Sarnes to jump against Burdett as we get things underway in Chapter 2. The tip control by Monmouth. The Zippers have the basketball. Blazy down quickly. Mike Miller back out there to Burdett. He goes in under some pressure from King. Shot hits high off the glass, as you saw, on the rebound controlled by Havana. The Ducks bring it across. Bruce Sarnes. Sarnes looking to King. Trimpe being well shadowed. Good defensive job by Blazy on Trevor Trimpe. Trimpe has not scored as yet. Ginzel goes in the right corner. Ginzel being crowded by Hayes, and really, Keith, pretty good job out of this man-to-man for Monmouth.
The guards out front are doing an excellent job defensively.
All right, Trevor Trimpe will inbound for Havana. The Ducks trail it by 4 at 19-15. Jay Ginzel. Havana lost its first 2 games of the season, and since then have won the 28 in succession. Ginzel to Trimpe to Sarnes. Sarnes turns on Miller and got it. 19-17, Havana back within 2.
Havana wants to get that ball inside. They're running a lot of low picks in order to get the ball there.
Okay, across is Mike Miller. Lacey to Burdett. Burdett inside, twist to the glass, can't get the shot in. Rebound controlled by King. It's loose. And finally, Ginzel comes out of the flurry with the basketball. Jay Ginzel quickly to Chip Boggs. Boggs holding the ball. Back to King. Going to go against Burdett, and he got it. Kevin King put the ball on the floor. 1 dribble and up against Burdett. Nets it, and we want a timeout in the case of Mike Mueller. Mueller on his feet wants a timeout with 6:45 to go in the game's second period. Is tied. Havana 19, Monmouth 19. One of your network sponsors is Stauffer Chemical Company.
Take a look at Havana's 54% shooting, with Monmouth better at 8 of 13, 62%. Nobody's missed a free throw. Rebounds in favor of Havana by 3.
Ball loose, and let's see who's going to get it. It's going to belong to Havana.
Art, if I might make a quick observation, first quarter, I think Mike Mueller of Monmouth wants his center, Jerome Burdett, more involved in the game.
And here is a call at the timeline. I believe it went to Hayes. Personal foul. It has been called on Fred Hayes, his first.
We'll be interested to see what kind of a defensive change, if any, Mike Mueller made with that timeout, because Havana was very easily getting the ball inside to their big people.
I think Frank's absolutely right. Jerome Burdett has not scored as yet. A lot of that is due to some very fine defensive play by Kevin King inside and the collapsing of that 1-3-1 zone. But Burdett has to get more active, I'm sure, for Monmouth to roll. And, of course, that's exactly what Havana's trying to keep him from doing. Jay Ginzel slides right. The foul is away from the ball. I think it's on Chip Boggs. It is. Boggs, well away from the play, is called for his second personal foul. Score remains at 19 apiece.
That was one of those low post picks that we were talking about among those 3 Havana forwards and center.
Well, the bonus rule is now in effect insofar as Monmouth is concerned. On Boggs, officially now, they flash up a 3rd personal foul. So we'll have to go with that. We only had 2 for him, but officially 3 fouls on Chip Boggs, and Mike Miller is at the line. That's a big factor. Huffman has come in to replace Boggs for the Ducks. The free throw is good by Mike Miller, who now has 13 points. One more throw coming to Mike Miller. 20-19 Monmouth on the first Miller free throw, and he got the second one. So Mike Miller already with 14 points out of his team's total of 21. Monmouth leads 21-19, early stages, second quarter. Trevor Trimpe, hook pass for Sarnes, knocked away, stolen by Miller. Miller comes down. Ginzel trying to pick him up defensively, and we have a turnover. Palming the basketball has been called. Turnover number 7 against the Monmouth Zippers, and 7 turnovers for Havana. So they're even Steven in that category. Huffman makes the play in for the Ducks to Sarnes. Sarnes juggles, has the ball back to Ginsel, and that constant pressure from Fred Hayes in the defensive zone on Ginsel. Ginsel having to work very, very hard to bring it up the floor. Havana with an overload left side of the free throw lane as Ginsel works to Sarnes. Monmouth in a straight-up man-to-man. They've been man-to-man throughout. Ginsel with Hayes covering him. Lacey has done a spectacular job on Trevor Trimpe. Mike Miller has Sarnes. Sarnes over Mike Miller, can't get it. King being covered by Burdett, goes back to the hoop with the hook, rolls, no good. Rebound pulled out of there by Mark McCurdy. McCurdy down off the defensive iron. The long lead pass for Mike Miller, and Monmouth makes it turnover number 8. They throw it away. The Zippers lead 21-19. Mike Mueller told us before the ball game his Monmouth team wants to play a full court ball game, and they're pretty well doing that thus far. Ginsel against Hayes. Havana looking for the tying bucket. 5:26 to go, first half. Short jumper by Trimpe. Comes an air ball, and it's hauled down by Mark McCurdy. McCurdy, 6'1", 165, a senior. Chip Boggs on the bench for Havana, riding with 3 personal fouls. Burdett down low, back out quickly to Hayes. Hayes on the perimeter, scores. Third bucket for Fred Hayes. 4-point lead for Monmouth at 23-19. Monmouth at one juncture had an 8-point margin. And Havana jumped off to a 5-0 lead. So it's been kind of a seesaw first half, Keith.
And you can see once they beat that original pressure, then we come up one-on-one, Ginsel against Hayes.
Ginsel across. Sarnes being covered by Miller. To Trimpe. Low, inside, shot no good, tipped by King, and we have a foul whistle against the Zippers. And this one will go on Mark McCurdy.
A nice feed in there from Trimpe. Goes up, Trimpe to Rick Huffman, and he'll go to the line.
Huffman at the line. Stauffer Chemical Company, one of your IHSA network sponsors, is happy to be presenting this Class A tourney, and Stauffer hopes you'll be watching tonight when we crown the 1982 Class A state champion.
You know, I think we may see Trevor Trimpe move on a little closer to the basket and take Blasey a little closer underneath.
Free throw is good by Huffman. I'll tell you, McCurdy's playing a good ball game out there, particularly defensively, and blocking out underneath for Monmouth. Has not scored as yet, but he's been a very definite factor, particularly at the defensive end. Second throw by Rick Huffman is good. So the 6th man off the bench for Havana gets a pair of free throws and pulls the Ducks within 2 at 23-21. Lacey across to Hayes. Burdett having some trouble with King inside. King playing right behind him in the middle of that 1-3-1 zone defense. Here's Burdett. Burdett twist on King, goes to the hoop, shot rolls no good. Burdett back with a rebound to the hoop. He was really clobbered in there by Sarnes. Sarnes picks up the personal foul. Foul number 2 on Havana's 6'5" Bruce Sarnes. That's a pretty good foul, Keith.
I would say that Bruce Sarnes earned this foul. Look at him go with that tomahawk. Right there.
At the line, Jerome Burdett. Burdett has not scored as yet. He's averaging 13.9. Misfire. That's the first free throw missed by Monmouth this afternoon.
You know, Art, sometimes the players will say, Coach, I never touched him, but that can't be the case on that play.
He mugged him.
Second throw, no good. Rebound deflected out of bounds off the fingertips of Havana's Bob Sarnes. Monmouth will inbound with a 2-point lead. 4:31 to go in the half. 23-21 the Zips. Right side of the floor. Long range jump shot by Blasey doesn't go. Underneath, trying to sky for the rebound was Rick Huffman. And over his back, let's see who they give the foul to. It could be Burdett, it could be Jamie Paul. They gave it to Burdett. Foul number 2 on Jerome Burdett. Huffman really tried to sky. He's 6'2", and he's the young man who just netted a pair of free throws a moment ago for Havana, so he has a chance to tie this thing up.
That's where that excellent rebounding position paid off and gives him a chance to put down 2 more free throws.
You know, it's interesting, Keys. Most rebounds don't come off above the rim, so positioning is so vitally important. Free throw misfires. The rebound by King is good. Kevin King. King with a 9-point performance. 6'6" Havana center ties it at 23-23 off the missed Huffman free throw. King with the offensive board. Mike Miller for Monmouth down the lane. His shot comes up short, but there was a reason for it. He was cut off and fouled by Ginsel. Jay Ginsel picks up the personal, his second. Foul starting to gradually mount up in this ball game. Burdett leaves. And in the ball game, excuse me, Keith, in the ball game is John Kinney now for Monmouth.
Mike Miller is a real penetrator, and he's at the line for 2 shots right now.
Miller gets the first one. One more throw. 24-23. Monmouth last single point. Second to Mike Miller, good. Got a pair. So Mike Miller, all he's done so far is score 16 out of his team's 25. 25-23. Monmouth over Havana by 2. And as anticipated, the semifinal round already has produced one great ball game in overtime. Lawrenceville by 2 in the overtime over Herscher, and this one is airtight as well. Trimpey, they go back door to King. King slides the baseline, got it. Kevin King with a couple of really good fundamental moves in there.
And Monmouth has put Jerome Burdett on the bench again. I know Mike Mueller is not getting the kind of play out of him today that he had hoped for.
Burdett's going to come right back in just as we speak. With the basketball, Kinney to Miller. He bangs it off the glass and in. Boy, Mike Miller has been a one-man wrecking crew for Monmouth. Monmouth leads by 2, 27-25. Sarnes comes back, answers for Havana. Shot will not go. And on the rebound, a foul has been called. I think it's on Kevin King. Kevin King of Havana picks up his first personal foul. Now back in, Jerome Burdett comes back in the ball game for Monmouth. At the line, the player fouled at the Havana offensive end was Jamie Paul, 6'2", 165, a junior. He came in last night against Stonington. Hit about 3 quick shots coming off the bench. At the free throw line, 2-point lead to Monmouth. Paul's charity toss is good. One more throw. 28-25. 3-point lead to Monmouth. Second throw. Paul got a pair. And now another substitution checking in. Back in the ball game comes Frank McCurdy for Monmouth, replacing Jamie Paul. Paul is kind of instant offense. You put him in there, get a couple of quick points, and take him out. Rest him when you need him again, put him back in.
Be interesting if it works that way, won't it?
Mike Miller, this deflected the ball out of bounds on the inbound pass to Sarnes, and I think they called a foul. They did call a foul on Mike Miller. On Miller, it's foul number 2. And now we parade to the free throw line at the Havana end. Bob Sarnes will be at the stripe. Sarnes thus far with 10 points. Miller with 18 points so far in the ballgame. His team has scored 29. 1-1 for Sarnes, got it. Bruce Sarnes drops it in. Havana has cashed in on 4 out of 5 free throw attempts so far this afternoon. They trail it by 3. Second throw, Sarnes got a pair. The Ducks back within 2. Monmouth 29, Havana 27. Havana out of the Spoon River Conference and Monmouth out of the Olympic Conference. 29-27. 3:16 for the half. Lacey to Burdett to Hayes. Hayes juggles, gets it back. Sarnes cuts him off in that portion of his own defense. So Lacey brings the ball back out front to Hayes. Hayes to Mike Miller to Jerome Burdett. Right back to Hayes at the free throw line. Pops it, can't get it down. Rebound, Kevin King. King to Jay Ginsel. Chance to tie. Havana has the basketball. Up the floor. Ginsel picked up by Hayes. He's been there all afternoon. Ginsel into about 14 feet. Cut off by Hayes. Back out to Trevor Trimpey. Trimpey to Jay Ginsel. To Sarnes. Sarnes moves toward the baseline. Good defense by Mike Miller, cutting him off. Ginsel with behind the back dribble against Hayes. Right back to Sarnes. Bobby holds it high to Kevin King. King eyes the bucket. Cross court to Ginsel. Ginsel, good penetration move. Lefty shot in and out. Won't go. Rebound. Sarnes. High ball game. Bruce Sarnes, that's it, 29-29. 2:23 to go in the half. The margins in the 2 so far this afternoon have been paper thin. At long range, Miller, no good. Rebound, skying for it, Trimpey. Spectacular rebound. He pulled it down in front of Mel Blasey. Havana now with a chance to take the lead. Monmouth digging in defensively. Off to Rick Huffman, covered well by McCurdy. Lacey comes out to challenge Trimpey into Sarnes. Sarnes turns on the hoop, can't get it with the half hook, and the ball is controlled by McCurdy. McCurdy, a workman-like ball player to Hayes. Hayes penetrates, goes down the lane. He was fouled, hammered as he went in, and they're going to call it on Ginsel. That's an interesting duel, Keith. Ginsel and Hayes, and you're going to see a replay on it right now. They've been battling each other all afternoon.
They have. They've gone head-to-head all day, and this time Hayes will go to the line for 2 shots. That's the 3rd foul on Ginsel, and you know that Havana doesn't want to see him out.
No, he has to be in there. Very, very important, as is Hayes, of course, to Monmouth. Free throw by Hayes, off the back iron. Fred Hayes with 6 points. This is his first time at the line this afternoon. He has one more throw. Hayes on the season, good free throw shooter. 7.69. If you want to carry it out to 3 digits, we'll settle for 77%. Pretty fair country of free throw shooting. He's shooting 53% from the field. Got his second throw. So Fred Hayes hits 1 out of 2. That's good enough to give the Zippers a 1-point lead at 30. That's 29. Down comes Havana with a chance to take the lead. Rick Huffman playing for the foul play Chip Boggs. Boggs on the bench with 3 personals. Trevor Trempy to Sarnes. He twists. He's got it. Bruce Sarnes with 31 last night, 16 so far this afternoon.
Once again, the Monmouth defense playing behind those people down low, permitting them to get the ball and take it to the basket.
31-30. Havana by a point. Monmouth, McCurdy in the middle to Miller. Had it, lost it. Taken right back. Controlled by Blasey. Mel on the drive. Got it up and in. Mel Blasey was stumbling as he went down the right side of the lane. Enough body control to get the shot home, and Monmouth leads it by 1, 32-31. A minute left to play, first half. Sarnes top of the circle. New point guard out there for Havana is Jeff Lawrence. Lawrence came in to replace Ginsel, who was getting himself in foul trouble, and has 3, as pointed out by Keith a moment ago. Sarnes bowls in. He was called for traveling. Well, for a moment, they might call the offensive foul. I think it was an excellent call by the official. He walked with it before he made contact.
Very good call. Traveled before he did charge. A nice feed from Pimpy again.
Art, Monmouth will look for 1 shot here, I believe.
I think you're right, Mr. Bissoni. That's what I'd do. 32-31. That's no sign they'll do that.
That's right.
1-point lead for Monmouth. We're down to 34 seconds and rolling here in the first half. McCurdy. Right side to Blasey. Blasey comes cross court. This is the Monmouth version of the 4 corners, and they let Mel Blasey out front. Kind of center it. Moving on him is Jeff Lawrence. Monmouth with a 1-point lead. 15 seconds left to go in the first half. McCurdy. Bounce pass, I think, intended for either Miller or Hayes, who went right between them. And so the strategy backfires with 11 seconds to go. Havana with a chance to take a halftime lead. Down to 10 seconds. Lawrence having trouble in the defensive zone. To Trempy with 5 seconds. Off to Sarnes. Launches the long bomb. In and out. Almost got it. Rebound McCurdy, and that's it at halftime. At the halftime intermission, we've got a 1-point ball game. The score, Monmouth 32. Havana 31, and we'll continue in just a minute.
All roads lead to Monmouth. The Pottery Barn carries a complete line of Western stoneware, which has been greatly expanded in assortment and color. Shop at your leisure Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. and Sundays from noon till 4:30. For all your pottery needs, visit the Pottery Barn at 521 West 6th Avenue in Monmouth, directly north of the Western Stoneware plant.
On behalf of the Blair for Treasurer Committee, Senator Howard Baker.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here, to be in Chicago, be in Illinois on behalf of Bob Blair's candidacy for state treasurer. Bob is an old friend and a good friend. He is eminently qualified to be our party's nominee for this important statewide post and to serve in that capacity.
On March 16th, Blair, Republican for state treasurer. Leadership when Illinois needs it most.
Well, let's kind of review what has transpired so far in this ball game. Before we do that, though, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that Country Companies Insurance and its 1,000 agents are proud to be presenting this 1982 Class A state tourney. And Country Companies Insurance invites you to be watching next weekend for the Class AA tourney and for the girls' finals here from the Assembly Hall on March 27th. Been an airtight ball game, as you can tell, of course, by the halftime score of 32-31, Monmouth leading. Into the first quarter, it was 19-15, kind of an unusual start. Havana jumped into a 5-point edge, 5-0, and then quickly coming back and closing the gap on them, the Havana Ducks. Individual scoring so far, Mike Miller is the big story for Monmouth. He has 18 points, 7 for Fred Hayes, Mel Blasey with 5, Jamie Paul with 2, and that's it insofar as the Monmouth is concerned. Havana again paced by Bruce Sarnes, who has 16 points at halftime. Chip Boggs with 2, and it's an 11-point total for center Kevin King. Trevor Trempy still has not scored. Jake Ginsel hasn't scored for Havana. and Rick Huffman has 2. They've also played Jeff Lawrence. Lawrence has not scored as yet in the ball game. So that's the way it stands with Monmouth up 1 at the halftime intermission. We'll be back with more, but a reminder, one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
Wally here spent months talking Dad into letting him drop his entire life savings into this 65 edition of the Great American Dream.
Let's see. Tuning the internal combustion.
To lead by 1, boy, it's been the Mike Miller show so far this afternoon offensively. He has poured in 18 points. Miller is 6'5", a very strong 195-pound senior. Hayes was 7. Lacey has 5, and Jamie Paul off the bench with a pair. So things are pretty airtight, Keith. Both clubs are shooting 50% from the field, and we got a 1-point ball game.
You know, these are 2 very well-balanced teams, but yet Sarnes and Miller have been scoring most of the points. I think we'll see some other people come up with some baskets.
DeKalb Ag Research and your local DeKalb dealers here in Illinois are proud to be part of these IHSA telecasts, and DeKalb invites you to be with us at 6:15 tonight for the championship session. That'll be the 3rd place game, and then the title go.
Real quickly, gentlemen, before we tip off the second half, we do have that Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Class A All-State basketball team. Their first team, Doug Novsick from Lawrenceville, Scott Mintz from Herscher, Marty Simmons from Lawrenceville, Ron Virgil of Providence St. Mel, and Joe Fisher from Canelan. Now, this is the overall state tournament, or all-state team, not a tournament team. The second team, Greg Renegarby from Oakville, Bill Broxick of Flanagan, Mike Miller of Monmouth, Bill Hayes of Gridley, and Kirk Francis from Kewanee. And enough of that. We're ready to go with the second half. Keith?
Well, Art, Mike Miller of Monmouth was 6 for 7 from the field, 6 for 6 from the foul line. He only missed 1 shot.
Now, he's having a pretty fair day. No question about it. He scored 13 last night. We didn't mean to indicate he had a bad night. He didn't, but it was well under his average, and he's come back tremendously this afternoon. There's the opening jump of the second half. Down 1. Havana's got the basketball. Here is Jay Ginsel with it. Ginsel riding with 3 fouls. Set out the latter stages of the second quarter to Bruce Sarnes on the baseline. To Trimpe. Inside pass deflected away. Stolen by Fred Hayes for the Zippers. He roars. He shoots too hard. Rebound Sarnes. Sarnes for the white-clad Havana Ball Club. To Jay Ginsel. Hayes for the steal. Little bump and run in the defensive zone, and Fred got caught. Got him with the shoulder. Foul number 2 on Freddie Hayes. He is extremely quick, good ball player. So is Ginsel. That's an interesting matchup.
We'll keep watching that matchup because Jay Ginsel cannot afford an early 4th foul.
Right, and Monmouth is stuck with that man-to-man defense throughout. Mike Mueller believes in it. They play it very well. And the straight-up man-to-man defense is something you don't see too often in basketball anymore.
And we haven't seen it very much down here this weekend either.
Pass was deflected away by Lacey. Back to Bruce Sarnes. Havana's got the basketball. Still Monmouth leading by a point, 32-31. Ginsel puts it on the floor, drives on Hayes. Hayes, good defensive position. Note the way he slides with him very effectively. Sarnes out front got it. 18 points for Bruce Sarnes. Havana by 1, 33-32. 1-point lead to the Havana Ducks. Monmouth going for a go-ahead basket now. Mike Miller down. To McCurdy, to Hayes, to Blasey, baseline, goes inside of King. Can't get the shot to drop. King grabs the rebound. Blasey ties him up. Little intimidation, I think, there inside. Blasey, who is 6'1", against 6'6", Kevin King, pulled up a little bit, didn't go up with a good hard layup, and as a result, we have a jump ball situation.
Kevin King is an intimidating 6'6".
He looks a little taller than that, really. Good jumper. The jump ball is controlled by King to Trevor Trimpe. Trimpe hasn't warmed it up as yet. He's averaging 11.1, has not scored as yet this afternoon. We are in the afternoon now. This session, of course, started this morning.
Credit Mel Blasey with that excellent defensive job on Trimpe.
He has done just that. Inside to Sarnes. Sarnes hangs in the air and shot. This would not go down. Danced around the rim, wouldn't drop. Hayes with the rebound. Monmouth down a point. Fred Hayes trying to give him the lead. Fires the pass off to Miller. We have a whistle and a foul. I think it went to Hayes. The other player involved was Chip Boggs. Yep, foul is on Hayes. Let's take a look at it again.
Here comes Fred Hayes coming into the land of the Giants, and he was fouled.
That was a critical call, too, because Boggs is riding with 3 personal fouls. All right, Chip Boggs will make the play in for Havana. Havana seems to have just a very good working situation when their first 5 stays out there. Their ball movement is very, very good. And there's no question they can ill afford to lose a player like Boggs or Ginsel against this fine Monmouth ball club. Holding high is Sarnes. Of course, a couple of the Monmouth ball players haven't really gotten going. Burdett has not been able to come up with a big day. Blasey with a brilliant steal from Monmouth, lays it up and in. Mel Blasey, who has played great defensive basketball all afternoon that time, converted it into a two-pointer with a steal and 3/4 the length of the floor dribble, 34-33. That gives Monmouth the lead by a point, 5:37 for the third quarter.
He's quite an athlete, Art. He's finished 7th in the state Class A golf tournament a couple of years ago. He's quite an athlete.
He is that. We have a couple of fine golfers in this tournament, don't we?
For sure.
Trimpe works low to Boggs, and Boggs goes to the basket, can't get it down. We got a foul. I think it's on McCurdy.
The pass from Trimpe inside to Chip Boggs. He's also down very low again. Goes up strong, and he'll go to the line.
Pete, there's no question about it. Havana is extremely inside conscious, and that's the first thought they have on every maneuver in there.
And with two excellent guards like Ginsel handling the ball, and then the 6'4" Trimpe looking inside, makes it very effective.
Free throw is good by Chip Boggs. That's his third point. Boggs averages 9.2. And last night, he has a 13-point effort. Second throw by Boggs is up and in. It was Havana 72, Canelan 49 last night. And also in the quarterfinal round, Monmouth was an 81-59 winner over Stonington. Across with it is Blasey. 35-34 Havana. This is a pick-em ball game for sure. On the baseline, Miller. His jumper. Caroms off the iron, and Trevor Trimpe control. Trimpe, a 6'4" guard. He actually works the wings along with Sarnes, with Ginsel on the point. Here is Bruce Sarnes. 1-point lead to Havana. It's been difficult in this second half for Havana to build on that margin. Monmouth has grabbed the lead by one. They couldn't build on it either. But there's Sarnes. Sarnes now with 20 points, 37-34. The lead by 3 to Havana. Timeout with 4:41 to go in the third period. One of your network sponsors is Stauffer Chemical Company.
Of the 3 leading rootworm controls, one gives you more. More ways to get your best yield. Diphenate. Diphenate stands up to more major insects, including cutworms. Diphenate gives you more protection, even on earliest planted corn. That's right. For more of the things you need to get your best yield, from now on, all you need is Diphenate.
From Martha Brown. It's fun wear, shorts, and swim things. It's happy clothes to take you anywhere. Great new look in sportswear. It's a smash.
The only thing you need to know about her is the look from Martha Brown.
Martha Brown Limited. There's one near you.
That's the Gallery of Champions continuing. The Class A titleist of 77, Madison, with Larry Graham, 29-3. And Art, as we go back to live action, I want to point out Trevor Trimpe's passing for Havana. He's just an excellent passer. The 6'4" sophomore guard set up Sarnes' last basket.
He's a stellar assist man. Had 15 last night for a Class A tournament single-game record.
And remember, we have 5 Monmouth seniors on the floor, but 3 Havana people are underclassmen.
That's true. Here's the alley-oop to Trimpe. Got it from Ginsel. Trevor Trimpe, the assist to Ginsel. 39-34. Havana has pulled out to a 5-point margin. And now Mike Mueller's Monmouth Zips bring it down, needing a bucket. McCurdy to Miller to Blasey on the perimeter. On the iron, no good. The rebound, Bruce Sarnes of Havana. Sarnes skies for that basketball off the defensive iron to Jay Ginsel. Ginsel brings it across. Still straight up man-to-man for Monmouth. 39-34. Havana make it 41-34 as Sarnes puts down his third bucket of the quarter, his 22nd point of the basketball game. And again, Mike Mueller on his feet, trying to break the Havana momentum. A timeout taken by Monmouth. 3:41 for the quarter. Havana 41, Monmouth 34. Will continue in just a moment.
All roads lead to Monmouth.
The National Bank of Monmouth, now at your service 24 hours a day with its automatic teller center. And the complete farm management and trust departments give you investment advice you can bank on. Good bankers, good neighbors. The National Bank of Monmouth.
Experience, that's what you need in a state representative. For 32 years, I've owned and operated a farm. 8 years a construction company, and 20 years I've been a member of Local 537 operating engineers. The knowledge I've gained from this experience can be important to you. I think your state representative should represent all of the people of our district, not just a chosen few political leaders. I'd like your vote March 16th for Democratic state representative in the 71st district so that we can all win.
All right, Monmouth will inbound. They're suddenly down 7 to Havana. At one time, Monmouth had an 8-point lead in the first half of this ball game. Took 2 timeouts, Keith, in rapid-fire order. Here's Hayes. Won't go for him. On the rebound, McCurdy had it. Couldn't get it to drop, and Sarnes finally comes up with the basketball off the floor.
And let's give credit to Bob Gregory. He set up a play that got an alley-oop basket after the last timeout. Let's see if there's a set play this time.
Here's a foul away from the ball, and it's going to be against Havana, maybe on Boggs. It is. Foul is on Chip Boggs, and that is his 4th. So Boggs picks up foul number 4 with 3:17 to play in the third quarter, and Rick Huffman will come on in his stead.
This Bruce Sarnes is some offensive player. His current stats, 10 out of 17 field goal shooting, 2 out of 2 free throws, 7 rebounds, and 22 points.
Yeah, he has done a ton in this tournament, no doubt about it. 31 last night.
Astounding player.
Monmouth needs a basket. Don't be surprised if they call on Mike Miller.
And Miller has the ball left side, and we have a lane violation. Burdett was camped in there too long. Little mistakes now starting to cost Monmouth. They're down 7, 3:07 to go in the third period. Basketball, I think, of all sports, is a game of momentum, and Havana has it at the moment. We'll see if it does indeed switch. Havana had a 5-point lead at one time. This is the biggest Havana lead, their longest margin, 7 points. Holding is Sarnes. Sarnes right back to Trevor Trempy. Works to Kevin King inside against Burdett. Off the glass and in. Kevin King with 13 points, and now it's a 9-point ball game. Havana 43, Monmouth 34.
Another excellent feed from Trevor Trempy.
He threads the needle, doesn't he? Right side, Hayes. Hayes to McCurdy. The winner meets Lawrenceville for the state championship tonight, but Lawrenceville didn't get there easily, friends. They won by 2 in overtime over Herscher, and here's a foul as Mike Miller set up for the jumper. Trevor Trempy went out, committed the personal foul. On Trempy, it's foul number 1. Country Company's Insurance and its 1,000 agents are proud to be presenting this 1982 Class A basketball tournament, and Country Companies invites you to be watching next weekend for the Class AA tourney and the girls' finals on March 27th. At the free throw line, Mike Miller hasn't scored as yet in this quarter, has 2 coming. First one.
Art, speaking of scoring, Jerome Burdett was the tournament scoring leader going into today, and he hasn't gotten a point yet today. He needs to get on track.
Yes, he was surpassed in scoring by Mr. Novsik in that first ball game. Miller gets a pair. 20 points for Mike Miller, 18 in the first half, 43-36. Monmouth closes within 5, and now we have a little trapping zone-type press being employed by the Monmouth Zippers. Trevor Trempy to Bruce Sarnes for Havana. Sarnes has Ginsel behind him. Pretty good pressure now. Monmouth gambling, and we'll see if Havana can take advantage of this. There's bound to be somebody open, Keith.
I'm very impressed, though, with the poise and the organization of Havana. We'll see how they keep that patience.
Ginsel glances over at Bob Gregorich on the Havana bench as they work inside to Kevin King. King on the high post. Turns and looks at Jerome Burdett to Trempy. Trempy to Ginsel. Ginsel backpedals. 43-36. Havana by 7. Bob Sarnes dips in along the baseline. Had it knocked away. Deflected out of bounds. Going to still be Havana's basketball. Good job of denying the baseline that time. They couldn't find the handle. Trevor Trempy will inbound it. Huffman playing for Boggs, and now has 4 fouls. Into King. Alley-oop. Shot is no good. Gets his own board. Hooks it and won't go. Burdett with a rebound. Jerome Burdett asserted himself on the defensive glass that time. Down to Blasey on the drive. His shot was blocked, and I think nope, no foul. Just deflected out of bounds. Or are they going to call a foul?
They do call the foul, Art, yes.
It's on King, I think. Right, the foul goes to Kevin King.
Kevin King, number 50.
Second foul on King. Mel Blasey will be at the free throw line. They have to award him 2 here. No question about it. 2 shots coming to Mel Blasey. Big ones for Monmouth. He got the first one. 43-37. 6-point Havana lead. Blasey can cut it to 5. 1:26 for the third quarter. He does. 43-38. Full court pressure. Pressure being intensified by the Zips. Here is Ginsel. Ginsel trapped in the defensive zone. Circles away. Blasey comes over to help out Hayes on the double team. Ginsel out near the 10-second line. Hayes pokes it out of there. He has the steal against Ginsel. He got it. Fred Hayes with the steal in the bucket. 43-40.
Excellent gambling pressure by Monmouth.
Monmouth is really putting on the heat now. It's a 43-40 ball game. Havana, 58 seconds to go, third quarter. Ginsel to Trevor Trempy to Sarnes. Sarnes on the perimeter. Got it. Bruce Sarnes, another glittering effort. 24 points for Sarnes. 45-40, Havana. In this quarter, Havana's been able to get the clutch shots to drop for them.
Talk about someone enjoying playing in the assembly hall. How about Bruce Sarnes?
They may rename the building.
Well, that's only, what, 55 points in 2 ball games? And of course, his scoring total would include what he had in the super sectional, so he's had a bundle. Looks like Monmouth's going to slow her down, wait for the last shot here at the end of the third quarter. They like to be within 3 as we start the final chapter. Official warns Monmouth they're trailing. They have to initiate the action. Hayes to Miller. Miller to Blasey. Back to Mike Miller. Puts it on the floor. Slides down the lane. Got it. Mike Miller with a good determined move. Hops it 45-42. 1 second. Sarnes from behind the 10-second line. That's one of the few he has missed all afternoon. That's it after 3 periods of play. Havana 45. Monmouth 42. One of your network sponsors is Century Company's Insurance.
Spirit of the country. It's being there when you need it and lending a helping hand. That's the spirit we live by. And at Country Company's Insurance, it's the spirit we do business by.
All roads lead to Monmouth. The Pottery Barn carries a complete line of Western stoneware, which has been greatly expanded in assortment and color. Shop at your leisure Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. and Sundays from noon till 4:30. For all your pottery needs, visit the Pottery Barn at 521 West 6th Avenue in Monmouth, directly north of the Western Stoneware plant.
And there you see the Class A state champions, Providence of New Lenox in 1979. 32-1 record ball club. 45-42, Havana, as we go to the final period.
All right, if it comes down to the men on the bench, remember Bob Frederick has been here 4 times. Mike Mueller's on his first visit to the assembly hall.
All right, there's the opening jump of the final period. Fred Hayes to Mike Miller. Monmouth down 3. Hayes off to Miller. To Blasey, and Blasey is called for the traveling violation. Traveling called on Mel Blasey. Havana will take over the basketball with a 3-point lead just underway in the final quarter. With it is Bruce Sarnes. Sarnes already with a 24-point afternoon. To Trevor Trempy. Trempy fires to Kevin King. The big guy at 6'6" comes out near the 10-second line to take the pass. Ginsel directing traffic with Fred Hayes on it. King underneath along with Rick Huffman. They go to Rick Huffman at the baseline. He's cut off by McCurdy out of the man-to-man for Monmouth. King inside. No good. The rebound, Sarnes, however, is good. 26 points for Bruce Sarnes. 47-42. 5-point lead again for Havana. Sarnes with a 10-point second half, 16-point first half. McCurdy, Mark McCurdy to Miller. Back to McCurdy to Hayes. They look into Jerome Burdett. Back to Blasey on the outer iron. Rebound McCurdy. Scoops it right back out to Mike Miller. Miller down the lane. Off balance jumper. Won't go. Leaning in, not off balance for Miller. He frequently hit that shot. He was leaning in, couldn't get it to drop, a little too hard. Jay Ginsel across. 47-42, Havana by 5. Lawrenceville waiting in the wings to meet the winner for the title tonight. Sarn shot, this time won't go. Fred Hayes pulls it down. The little scooter brings it up quickly for Monmouth. Down the lane, pull-up jumper, won't go. Hayes gets his own board, he follows. No good, McCurdy out of traffic. Jump ball underneath. There's a look at the statistical story thus far. Havana shooting 53% on 19 of 36. Monmouth 45%, 14 of 31. Both teams shooting well at the line. Tip control by Havana. Ginsel roars it across. Havana's going to play a little bit conservatively, I would think, right now, Keith, with a 5-point advantage.
Yes, I think we'll see that patience and poise of theirs go into effect right now.
Ginsel with Hayes on him, and Fred Hayes has the potential to turn any little error into a steal and perhaps a layup bucket. But Havana extremely well drilled. Sarns behind a screen from Trimpe. Got it.
That's a high percentage shot today. Anything he takes.
He had a great screen. Trevor Trimpe came out and picked his man, and Sarns drilled it. 49-42. 7-point Havana lead. Lacey trying to counter from Monmouth. Can't do it. Hayes with the board off the floor. No good. Heavy traffic. Rebound is up and in, and a foul. McCurdy got it. It'll count. Mark McCurdy hit the follow-up.
Monmouth continues to battle those offensive boards, and this time it's Mark McCurdy making the basket and going to line.
Foul went to Rick Huffman.
The last time down, it was Fred Hayes that got an offensive board.
Berta checks out for Monmouth. In the Monmouth lineup, Jamie Paul comes in. See if we have another change. Chip Boggs is back in the ball game for Havana now, riding with 4 personal fouls. At the free throw line is Mark McCurdy. 49-44. Trying to complete the three-point play, misses it, but Mike Miller rebounds, can't get it. McCurdy with the rebound, and they're going to call McCurdy for pushing off against Trevor Trimpe as he tried to grab it. Foul on McCurdy, who not overjoyed with the call, nor is Mike Mueller. You see Mueller right there at the moment, sitting back down on the Monmouth bench. 49-44 Havana. By 5 with 5:38 to go. A long way to go in the ball game. Sarns works right to Trimpe. It's a long way to go if you're ahead. It's a very short distance if you're behind. Inside Boggs. Boggs shot rolls good. Tip Boggs, who has been foul plagued throughout the afternoon, rung the bell with that one. 51-44. Out to a 7-point lead.
They're absolutely tearing them apart inside.
Jamie Paul to Hayes. His shot no good. Hayes gets his own rebound. Colliding with Hayes was Kevin King. And Kevin picks up foul number 3. 51-44 ball game. These two teams have had spectacular years.
You know, this Fred Hayes is just perpetual motion. You know, he's covered a lot of ground in this assembly hall today.
Really has, and he probably is the key to Monmouth getting back in this one. He's going to have to force some turnovers. His free throw is good.
He transferred to Monmouth from Peoria Manual.
That started in Dick Van Syok's program over there, and he certainly helped the Monmouth cause. There's no question about that. Second throw spins out, and the rebound, that's a big board. It's controlled underneath by Trevor Trimpe. 51-45, 6-point Havana lead. We're at the 5-minute mark and counting. Ginsel with Hayes on him. Didn't penetrate. 5-second violation. That was good defense by Fred Hayes. I'm not real sure Ginsel realized where he was on the floor in that instance.
Excellent defense, and if you notice also, Jamie Paul has come in the game, and guess who he gets to guard?
He's on Sarns.
Bruce Sarns. How would you like for your coach to say, son, go in and guard Sarns today?
Mike Miller, turnaround jumper, won't go, and there's Chip Boggs with a key rebound. Boggs has had a key bucket and a key board since coming back off the bench. Ginsel drives it against Hayes. 51-45 Havana. Right side Sarns. Sarns looks low. Back to Trevor Trimpe. Trimpe, who can thread the needle with the pass, looking for the open man, gets the ball to Ginsel. This time an errant pass, and Fred Hayes makes an error with the steal, goes around and scores. Fred Hayes with the steal and the bucket. 51-47, 4:16 to play. Almost a steal in the inbound pass. Trimpe clears to Sarnes. Sarnes has Chip Boggs ahead of the break down the left sideline. Gets the ball to him. Back out front to Ginsel. Ginsel to Trimpe. Art Kimball with you, along with Keith Baldwin and Frank Bassoni from the Assembly Hall. Lower bracket semifinal, state Class A tournament. Inside, King is hacked as he tried to go to the basket, and McCurdy picked up the personal. On Mark McCurdy, it's foul number 4. Now Jerome Burditt checks back in for Monmouth, and he replaces Jamie Paul. 3:52 all that remains. A 4-point difference. 2 shots, they say, for Kevin Kay.
Havana is continually moving those 3 men around under the basket and getting open for easy shots underneath.
As that free throw spins out, we'll remind you that Kevin King now has 13 points. He had 11 of them in the first half, just 1 bucket in the second half. Second throw is up and in. So King hits 1 out of 2 to make it 52-47. 5-point lead for Havana again. 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Second-ranked Monmouth with the basketball. Mike Miller to Hayes. Hayes, his jump shot will not go. Rebound McCurdy and a whistle. Barnes, I believe, got called for the foul. A lot of traffic under that offensive board of Monmouth. They did call the foul on Bruce Sarnes. On Sarnes, that is his 3rd personal foul. Bob Gregorich up in front of the, in fact, frankly, almost in front of our broadcasting position, not in front of his own bench at all, pleading to his ball players. 2 shots coming. McCurdy, first one, he got her down, as you saw. Big free throw. 52-48, can cut the lead to 3.
This is an important one so they can set up their press.
Sarnes with a big rebound. Mike Miller of Monmouth had a crack at the basketball, couldn't quite pull it down, and Sarnes did. To Ginsel. 52-48, and Havana wants a timeout. Timeout for the Ducks. 3:31 to play. It's Havana 52, Monmouth 48. One of your network sponsors is DeKalb Ag Research.
Acres of gold, keeping America going.
Hey, Mom, when do we eat?
Will inbound. 52-48, Havana by 4. We'll see what their strategy is here, Keith, if they spread it a little bit.
They're still straight man-to-man, but it's going to be an aggressive one, and they're going to be taking some chances.
Trevor Trimpe to Chip Boggs, back to Bruce Sarnes. Havana sitting on a 4-point cushion, which is not a real comfortable cushion at this point with 3:12 to play. Stolen away by McCurdy. Got it away from Boggs. Here's Hayes. Hayes solos. He can't get it. Rebound, Chip Boggs. Big defensive rebound for Havana. Here's Ginsel against a double team. Gets the ball to Trimpe. Trimpe still hasn't broken the pressure. McCurdy with another steal, but the ball goes out of bounds.
Boy, credit Mark McCurdy with 2 straight excellent defensive plays.
McCurdy's a football player, a baseball player, and the class valedictorian. He's something.
Inbounded by Trimpe to Sarnes. 52-48, still Havana by 4 points. Ginsel. Ginsel pressured. He's double teamed. Clears it off to Trevor Trimpe. Havana with the 4-point lead and the basketball. 2:39 to play. Pass intercepted. Stolen by McCurdy again. Play after play after play. 17th turnover for Havana. Well out on the floor. Controlling is Mel Blasey. 2:25 to go. Low to Burditt. To Miller. Loose basketball. Jump ball situation. Boy, that Havana defense really collapsed back in the middle, and it's very, very tough to get anything inside against them. They're still in that 1-3-1, Keith, and if they fall back in, just pitch a tent around Burditt in that case.
It was very interesting to see him go to Burditt, who has not had a good day, but he tried to get the ball off then to Mike Miller, who was tied up.
Ginsel jumping against Miller. Miller controls the tip for Monmouth. Baseline to Blasey. Got it. Short jumper for Blasey. 52-50. Havana's lead is 2. Full court pressure is on. Chip Boggs hands the ball to Ginsel. Double team and a reach-in foul is going to be called on Mark McCurdy, and that's all for McCurdy. McCurdy leaves the lineup for Monmouth with 2:05 to go in the ballgame. And McCurdy had a total of 3 in this ball game, all in the fourth quarter. But boy, the defensive job, the defensive plays he made were incredible.
Yes, and needing to press like they do, they could ill afford to lose someone with his defensive ability and his intensity that he gives on the floor.
Jamie Paul comes in at the line, will be Jay Ginsel. We don't have to tell you the importance of these free throws. 52-50 Havana. Ginsel at the line, 2:05 to play. Got it. Havana edges to a three-point advantage. One more throw. 53-50. Jay Ginsel, the shooter. Rebound to Mike Miller. Miller brings it off to Blasey. Three-point Havana lead. 2 minutes showing. Hayes, baseline, Blasey. Got it. He's hit two money shots in a row. 53-52. Havana by point. Drew Sarnes. Sarnes fouled by Mike Miller. Third foul on Mike Miller.
You know, Monmouth doesn't have to make that kind of a foul right now, Art. They're only 1 point down. There's a minute 48 to go.
At the line is Bruce Sarnes. Sarnes on the day has had 2 attempts. He's made them both. 12-point second half, 28-point ball game. 6'5", 175, a senior. Didn't go. Rebound tied up. Kevin King came out, but Mel Blasey slipped back in and tied him up to force the jump.
Mel Blasey is a name that we've been calling quite a bit just the last couple of minutes.
King with a decided height advantage here. Havana controls it. Trevor Shrimpy. Baseline to Sarnes. His shot will not go. The rebound pulled down by Jerome Burdett. And here's Monmouth with the basketball and a chance to take the lead. 53-52 Havana. Hayes holding against that 1-3-1 Havana zone defense. A minute and 25 seconds left to go. Mike Miller to Burdett. Heavy traffic. Lobs it back out to Blasey. To Hayes. Fred Hayes jumper. It will not drop. Rebound. Traveling is going to be the call. Traveling against Havana. Kevin King came off with the basketball. A minute and 14 seconds left. Havana 53, Monmouth 52. But the Zippers have the basketball. Hayes, Blasey, Burdett, Miller, and Jamie Paul on the floor for Monmouth. Lineup remains the same as the starting combination for Havana. A minute and 9 seconds, 53-52 Havana. Here's Paul. Paul to Hayes. Back to Jamie Paul. To Blasey. He's had the hot hand off the baseline. This one doesn't go. On the rebound. Let's see what they're going to call. Foul, I believe, on Trevor Shrimpy of Havana. Could have gone either way. Miller from Monmouth was also involved. And they do whistle it on Havana's Trevor Shrimpy.
Mike
second.
Miller is going to be at the foul line. Art, 86% free throw shooter. Very, very good.
Two of the biggest ones that he shot this year, Frank.
The two biggest, I'm sure. 1-1 for Miller. His team down a point. Tie. 53-53. Take your choice right now. Mike Miller with one more throw. Monmouth has rallied to tie it. Mike Miller's second throw. He got them both. 54-53. Monmouth leads Havana by 1. Here is Sarnes with 55 seconds left. To Ginsel. Ginsel brings it up with 50 seconds. Havana's going to take the timeout. Havana takes the timeout. 49 seconds left to play. The score, Monmouth 54, Havana 53. One of your network sponsors is Stauffer Chemical Company.
Now you can grow corn where it was almost impossible before. With Eradicane herbicide, it controls Johnson grass, wild cane, nutsedge, giant foxtail, and
2 record. This one's still to be decided. This game's still to be decided. Monmouth 54, Havana 53. 49 seconds left to play. Havana's Trevor Shrimpy will inbound. Monmouth with a 1-point margin.
And even with the 1-point lead, they're going to be just as aggressive as they were defensively.
And watch going to Sarnes. Watch Sarnes on offense.
They get the ball to Sarnes. Sarnes hooks. He got it. And the lead back to Havana. 55-54, Havana by a single point. Monmouth with the basketball, half a minute to play. The winner moves to the title game tonight against Lawrenceville. 55-54, Havana with 24 seconds left. In low to Burdett. Burdett shoots and scores. The basket's not going to count. He's called for the offensive foul. Mike Mueller wants the basket to count. It's going to be disallowed. No basket. Burdett called for the charge. Havana has the basketball with a 1-point lead and 21 seconds left. What a big, big play that was.
Looked like a good call. We didn't get a replay on it, but looked like an excellent call.
Trimpe is fouled by Jamie Paul. Monmouth had to stop the clock immediately. Jamie Paul picks up the personal foul. Trevor Trimpe will be at the line with 16 seconds left. Havana, of course, wants an intentional foul called and 2 shots. 16 seconds, all that remain. Havana 55, Monmouth 54. Bruce Sarn's shot is the margin right now.
You know, I'm very interested how down the stretch Monmouth went inside to Burdett 2 or 3 times in a row.
Trimpe at the line. Free throw spins out. Monmouth has the basketball, down a point. 12 seconds left, down to 11 seconds, and Monmouth's going to take the timeout. 11 seconds, all that remain. It's a 55-54 ball game. We'll keep it right here. DeKalb Agri-Research and your local DeKalb dealers here in Illinois are happy to be a part of these IHSA telecasts. And DeKalb invites you to be with us at 6:15 tonight for the championship session. Another reminder, of course, we always appreciate comments about our TV coverage. And if you have comments, we'd like you to drop us a line. Just write to basketball, box 1531, Bloomington, Illinois, 61701. Well, here we go, men. Another barn burner. 11 seconds left. 1-point lead to Havana. Monmouth's got the basketball, Keith.
Well, we feel they have to go either with Blasey or Miller. You know, Blasey has been tough down the stretch. Miller's been tough all day long.
And if you want another outside shot, maybe it would be Fred Hayes taking the ball to the rim.
So many things happen in such a hectic manner in the dying seconds of a ball game, and the team that can take advantage if there's any kind of a seam, any kind of a break in the defense, that could decide it. The old argument, are you better off down a point with the ball or up a point without the ball? And nobody's ever really settled that, I don't think.
We'll know that as the final horn sounds.
Right. Okay, 11 seconds left to go. Monmouth will inbound. Havana leads by 1, 55-54. Bringing the ball across Blasey, only 7 seconds left. Inside to Burdett, a whistle, a foul, goes against Havana. Burdett was fouled. The foul is on Bruce Sarns.
You know, we had commented how many times in a row they had gone inside to Jerome Burdett. He'd come up empty almost all day, and what a chance for him to become a hero.
Burdett has not scored. He'll be at the free throw line. All right, here's the play.
All right. They go inside to Burdett once more. He steps in and is fouled. Jerome Burdett is a 60% foul shooter, and he will have a chance to put Monmouth into a tie or the lead. Stauffer Chemical Company, one of your IHSA network sponsors, is happy to be presenting the Class A tournament. They hope you'll be watching tonight when we crown the 1982 champion.
And I doubt if we'll have any better session than we've had this afternoon. A 2-point overtime win by Lawrenceville over Herscher. This one isn't over yet. We're down to 4 seconds to play in the game. Burdett has not scored. He carries a 13.9 average, has had 2 free throw attempts and missed them both. The veteran Bob Gregoridge obviously icing Mr. Burdett in this situation. As far as I can tell, it's a 1-and-1, Keith.
I'm sure it was a 1-and-1 call. And you know, if Burdett would happen to put both of these down, look for him to have an outstanding game tonight, because his coach has showed an awful lot of confidence in him down the stretch run.
Well, you certainly go with what got you here, and Burdett has been such a key for this ball club all year long. He's at the line right now, and as Frank Massoni would say, the first one is the big one. You've got to make that one, of course, to tie it. Havana leading by 1. Bob Gregoridge's ball club up 1 on Mike Mueller's team from Monmouth.
They say 2.
They call it 2 shots. But he was fouled in the act of shooting. That makes a difference. 2 shots to Burdett. ball game. 55-55. 4 seconds remain. Jerome Burdett got the second one. With 4 seconds left, Havana takes the timeout. Monmouth on 2 Jerome Burdett free throws has taken a 1-point lead. A young man who has not had a big afternoon, hasn't scored at all in the ball game until now, but he hit 2 they'll never forget in Monmouth.
Back to Bruce Sarnes. Bruce Sarnes will probably be the man to take the shot again. And if you could have 2 ball games any better than the 2 we've had this afternoon, we'll try to top it for you tonight.
Yes, yesterday's quarterfinal round featured 4 great performances. However, those great performances were reflected in 4 performances not so great by the opposition. This afternoon, we have seen 2 classic basketball games. All right, Bob Gregorich, I know has been in this position before, Keith. 4 seconds, not much time to set up much.
No, he certainly can't. I think you'll see him try to make a pass to midcourt because he won't go for the long pass. I think he'll try to get a half-court pass and try to get a shot off in somewhere in that midcourt area.
All right, Havana will inbound. They trail by a point. 4 seconds left. Trevor Trempy will inbound the basketball. He fires the pass to Sarnes. Sarnes with 3 seconds. A long jumper. No good. The game is over. It's all over. Monmouth lose to the championship game against Lawrenceville by a 1-point margin. 56-55, and Jerome Burdett's 2 free throws proved to be the margin of victory in another classic encounter here in the Assembly Hall. Keith?
Well, Jerome Burdett, who had not scored all day long, made 2 key free throws. And you know, it was a real comeback battle for Monmouth because at one time they were behind 43-34 in the middle of that 4th quarter, but through tenacious pressure, they kept in there up to the final 2 free throws, Art.
Well, let's take a look at the scoring. As you see the final, there it is, 56-55, Monmouth against Havana. Briefly, the scoring, currently at least the leaders for Monmouth. Mike Miller had 24 points, 18 in the first half. 13 for Mel Blasey. Fred Hayes had 12. Jerome Burdett only had 2, but they're the 2 that won the ball game. And Mark McCurdy had 3 points. Jamie Paul wound up with 2. For Havana, Sarnes with 24, 26, 28. He finished with 30 points. We're kind of figuring this as we go. 6 points for Chip Boggs. Kevin King with a total of 14. Trevor Trempy with just 2 this afternoon. Jay Ginsel with 1. Rick Huffman had 2, and that's your scoring. On the ball game, Havana wound up 23 of 44 and shot 523. Monmouth, 18 of 48. They shot 375. The difference obviously at the line. Monmouth 20 of 26, including the game tire and the game winner by Jerome Burdett. 769 percentage. Havana 9 of 14 at the free throw line. And now let's go to Frank.